G'day, and welcome to the Forkman and Friends podcast, the podcast where, well, I talk to amazing people who do amazing things. Joining me this week, all the way over there from the UK in Watford, I have Mr. Tom Billington from Electric Umbrella.
Hello, Corey.
Hello, Tom. Finally, good to have you on the
It's so
podcast. I've been trying to find a reason why to have you on the podcast, and we'll get into that in a bit. But first, my wife asked me a question earlier. She wanted to know how tall you were.
all right. Hang on, we should probably give some sort of level of
But
of explanation.
I'm getting into that. I'm getting into that.
All right. Well, look, I'm way taller than anyone thinks I am. Partly because a lot of people have just seen me online for the last goodness knows how long. But I'm actually nearly 6'3", and like I met someone the other day that had only met me online doing all this stuff that we do with Electric Umbrella. And she's like, "Oh my god, you're so tall! Like what? That's You shouldn't be that tall." But there we go. Yeah, I'm nearly 6'3".
Wow. Yeah. No. People like she was like, oh, and he's taller than my friend who is 6'2". I go, I'm not too sure. But now I can go back to him and be like, yes, he is.
Okay, well there we go. At least we
Okay, but
have you.
now moving on, getting into the proper stuff. So now, Tom, can you tell us about your background and how you got into Electric Umbrella?
All right. Well, so it's a long story, Corey. So I'll try and keep it brief, of course. So Electric Umbrella is a charity that's challenging perceptions of people with learning disabilities. It's something that has grown very organically over the years, and it came out of a series of projects that I was working on once I'd left a band I was in. So I did 10 years or something more of touring and being in a signed and, I think we want to be famous type rock and roll band. So that was my history, a band called Mohair. And then I did 10 years of basically a bit of everything. So a bit of playing, a bit of touring, a bit of singing for other people, a bit of playing for other people, a bit of writing, a bit of library music. I learnt to walk on stilts and work in the circus, and I did learning disability stuff in schools and worked in special needs schools and worked in mainstream schools and just did everything. I just said yes to everything for a decade. Um, and it was kind of chaos, and it's still chaos, but Electric Umbrella grew out of just one of those many projects. And it was really when I met my co-founder and partner in crime, Mel, who is an art therapist and general, just all-round awesome human. And we just connected on this project. We met this group of people that we really loved, and we just grew it very slowly and very gradually. It started with just 8 people, me and Mel, and 8 people in a room, just writing some songs and thinking about doing a gig. Um, and we realised that this is a group of people that need representing way better than we thought they were represented. And her as an art therapist and me as a musician with music therapy as a it's not really what I do, but I know the benefits of music, um,
Yeah,
and we were able to sort of turn that outwards and use this group of people. That's not really what I meant, but to make people think differently about learning disabilities, and that's what our mission is.
yeah, and so you guys have been around for a while now,
Yep.
and you're usually touring. You're usually doing gigs in pubs. Yeah, am I correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, like
And schools.
the old version of Electric Umbrella is quite different to how it is now, and is different to how the future of Electric Umbrella is going to be. Like the pandemic has changed what we do. So we the way we used to be set up was that 3 times a week we would meet with 20 people, and we would do a 2-hour session of music and chaos and craziness. I mean, you've seen how I run things. and how my friend Ewan and Louise and how we run things, it was chaos. But it was always high energy, rich, meaningful social interaction as well as kind of musical exploration. And then we would turn that around and we would go and we would do gigs in schools and we would take our shows on the road and we would go to festivals and we would play on big stages with, all my kind of super highly professional musician friends. And our job was to just make it sound and look amazing so that our members, who happen to have learning disabilities, but I think they're superheroes and way more able than a lot of us in a lot of ways. Were able to kind of have this sort of great uh, platform with it upon which they were never going to go any lower than the bar that we set, and they could just be themselves and perform amazingly.
And now it all online due to the pandemic. Are you surprised how far it have grown in like a year a year being online?
It's been remarkable. You've only got to look at your personal involvement and to think that that would never ever have happened had the pandemic not come. We have included people into our community, which was, now I think about it, was quite a small group. It was like 60 people towards the end of pre-pandemic. We had a choir as well, which was another 50 or something, but it was a relatively small community. And now we're in a position where if you are anywhere in the world, and if you are awake at the times that we run stuff, which I understand is a problem in some areas, you can be a part of our community. So we've got people from over your way in Australia. We've got people from Uganda, America, all over Europe, um, and and it's been a really interesting and quite beautiful time for us because we were really on our knees, Corey. I don't mind saying it, but when pandemic hit, we we weren't in a great position as a charity. We were doing all right, but I personally had hit a bit of a creative wall. We were. I feel like we were maybe treading water a little bit. Um, and and we were able to sort of like just do this thing and really connect with new people and make a load of new friends, and it's really just given us this huge sort of creative boost as well, and has connected us to more people than ever. So yeah, we are a very positive story of the pandemic, and we're obviously looking forward to it being over, um, and going back to some of the stuff that we're doing, but like we are changed forever now.
Yeah, and I got to be honest. Did stumble upon you guys by accident
Yeah,
first. I I think I wrote something about the voice or something, and then that that search result on Facebook found a group called Find Your Voice.
yeah,
With I then saw the video of their their founder kind of guy. I think he's the
yeah,
founder, the
yeah.
Australian
So
Tom.
Aussie Tom, yeah. So it's Aussie Tom Richardson. He is the founder of the Find Your Voice Choir, and we found them because they were part of Australia's Got Talent. And someone sent that to me saying, "I think there's an Australian version of you." Like, oh, really? And yeah, and so if you are interested, you all should check out the Find Your Voice Choir, based in, are they in Warrnambool?
Warrnambool, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and it's just a really awesome group of people led by awesome people, Tom and Kylie. And yeah, we really connected, and then we got him on the show, and I think that's how you found us in the end.
Yeah, yeah. I just happened to write the voice, and then Find Your Voice came up, and then I was just scrolling through their Facebook page, and it was like, oh, Tom is on was
Yeah,
on this show. So I clicked the Facebook thing. I'm like, oh, they've been doing, and then I saw like a live that you guys were going live,
Yeah.
and to join the room. To like, oh, I'll join in,
See what happens.
see what
Well,
happens.
that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like, people are stumbling across this. I mean, the thing is, Corey. I mean, look, we're in a position now where actually we could accept and we can cope with all sorts of new members. So anybody from wherever you are in the world, if you are interested in, and I'm not talking just learning disabilities. So the people that the way we work with learning people with learning disabilities, and we connect and we do all of that. But like, you really don't have to have a learning disability to be a part of our community. That's a sort of misconception, isn't it? Because it like
Yeah,
it's for everybody. This what this group of people have taught me, is as valid as anything I'll ever teach them. That's the wrong word, but it's for everyone. There is a great sense of community. It's full of inspirational people, and that's the thing. And I think that's what we got a lot from Tom and Kylie in the Find Your Voice choir. It I remember him and I having a conversation that's like, people think, oh, you must be this disabled to join this group. A bit like, going on a ride at a fair. There's a
yeah,
line. And you have to be this. You have to have this many chromosomes. But you really don't. Like, it's a community. We are all sorts of people. We're a rich tapestry of, black, white, rich, poor, gay, straight, you know, verbal, non-verbal, wheelchair user, non-wheelchair user, all of those things, and that, you know, that's what the umbrella bit of our name is about.
yeah. I might add, how did the name Electric Umbrella come about?
Well,
I think
what's
because the first time I said it, someone thought I would like being a bit of a smart ass. So like, no, they actually call it Electric Umbrella.
well, it's funny because it was never meant to be anything more than one club night that we put on, and we needed a name for the club night, and that this is all it is. And we stumbled across these two words, electric and umbrella. They really are. I can't tell you how random that was. Basically, we wrote a load of post-it notes and a load of things like electric, exciting, fantastic, gorgeous, all these words, just like all these sort of describing words. And then a load of other things like umbrella, monkey, juggler, horse, badger, like all this stuff. And we literally just moved these post-it notes around, and somebody stumbled across electric umbrella, and we were just like, yeah, great, that'll do. Right, what are we going to do now? And that was it. But very interestingly, we did the first club night. We played there. We all realised that there was something more to it. But electric umbrella has become, the words themselves have actually sort of steered what we've become a little bit. You know, we do like to think that we are an umbrella organization where anyone can come in from the rain of weirdness that is out there. We do think that we are electric, we're exciting, we're fun, we're edgy, we're on the edge of things, we're non-apologetic, we take risks. I think that there's an electric element to that. And also, now that we have all these different offers, like before, Electric Umbrella was just a group that got together and then did some gigs. Now we have we have Electric Umbrella online, and within that we have EUTV, which is our TV show that we do on a Monday night. We have cyber sessions, which are small groups that get together every day. We have the Big Yellow Choir, that is an online choir on a Tuesday and Wednesday. We have the sing along. We have the breakfast show. We have all this stuff, and they all fit under this umbrella. You see, so the words Electric Umbrella has sort of changed where we've gone, and just allowed, I don't know, it's just been the perfect name, really. It's a really strange thing, and it was totally random. It could have been the juggling monkey. It really could have.
I gotta say, when I was in school, we had a school band, and we were trying to come up with names for our band. We were all called the Chocolate Chickens.
I love that name, the chocolate chickens.
but
I was
but
in fact called the spaghetti spaceman for the same reason. Like we just kind of like were random words.
but we ended up calling ourselves Code 7 Extreme
Okay.
because
I like the chocolate chickens more.
Yeah, but we ended up going to the Code 7 Extreme name because there used to be a police band and they had came that day to the school. So we were like, I was like, why don't we not call ourselves Code 7 and then put stream at the end? No idea what Code 7 is. The police
I
like,
don't know what Code 7 is. Could be
it,
anything.
it could be anything. It could be like,
7.
it could be
Could be
anything, but
someone's been sick in a bag. I don't know. It could mean anything.
yeah, so we ended up going that name and did a couple school concerts and whatnot. But
Yeah, it's
made a CD in the weights room because we had a weights room at school.
right.
Yeah, like all the music stuff was thrown into that room. So we recorded in a weights room. We got out of class for like 2 weeks.
I was in various bands during my school period. Never really played much music at school. My school department, music department, was very classical. And we had this great head of music. He was fantastic, but not for the kind of music I wanted to play. He was just not particularly interested.
Yeah,
Um, and when I wanted to do like music GCSE or later on music tech, they were just like, what how can you possibly do that? You're not you can't necessarily read music or anything. I was like, well, yeah, but 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 music isn't just that, is it? And at that time it really was. Whereas now it was very different.
yeah. And actually, that got me to the point in schools. I'm not too sure how it is over there in the UK, but over here, music in the schools wasn't always looked upon like as it is now. Now, with the music in schools, because we in our in our school programs, not every school can afford a like music teacher and whatnot. So they now do inclusive programs for schools to get involved in music. Do you reckon music education is important?
Oh, of course I do. I mean, the answer to that is always going to be yes. I find it unfathomable, really. I don't understand how educationalists cannot see the developmental and social and emotional um, benefits to teaching music properly in schools and having it as a core subject. We all hear about English, maths, and science being the core subjects, and that's how you become a good human being. I don't understand it. You know, for me, for me, music should be a core subject, not just a secondary or even thirdary or whatever the word is. Subject, or even something that schools just don't bother with, because that is often the case and is becoming more the case, I think, here in the UK, and I'm sure across the world, really. Because I'm sure it's the same. It's seen as a luxury, and if you go to a private school, and pay £10,000 a term and all of that kind of stuff, music education is really rich, really full. There's and all of that, and that's because people understand that, like, it is an essential skill, to be able to listen objectively, to be able um, to understand uh, how you respond emotionally to a piece of music, so that you can use it for the rest of your life to make you feel better, to pump you up, to bring you down. All of that stuff. I haven't had to work out the volume of a prism um, since I was at school learning core subject maths. Now, I
Yeah,
understand that adding and subtracting and dividing and all of that is essential skills for life. I do understand that, but you know, I cannot personally work out how it has got to a point where music isn't seen as an essential life skill, an essential part of the curriculum. I just don't understand.
yeah, yeah. No, I did it why this program came about. They call it music counters in, and like schools one day a year, they at the same time on the same day, schools sing this one song across
Right.
the country,
Oh
and
wow.
it also, I believe, it also gone international. Some schools have
Right.
picked
Yeah.
it up, and
It's yeah. It's. I don't know. I feel like this pandemic was a chance for schools to really sort of stop and think about stuff, and I'm not sure that they have. You know, modern
yeah,
school, as far as I'm concerned, you know,
yeah,
it's pretty outdated, isn't it? I mean, it's like, let's all sit in rows and answer
yeah,
questions, and let's judge each other by this sort of standardized, you know, format where you see, I've got children, so my kids are 9 and 12, um, and I see my son and my daughter essentially um, being tested as if they were the same person. So my son is super academic, loves maths, love is like really. That's just how his brain works. He's really, loves writing things down and being clear about stuff. Whereas my daughter is not. She's not fundamentally school like. The setup of school doesn't work for for who she is. You know, she is more musical. She sees things differently. She's super bright, but like she just doesn't have the same. Whereas there's no, there doesn't seem to be any way of sort of teaching them the way that they need to be taught as individual people. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So she, and I don't want to, she will not. And I hope she never listens to this, but she won't do as well in school as Max will, as my son
yeah,
will,
yeah,
because she's not. The way that she's intelligent is
yeah,
not
and that's the
like that.
way. Yeah,
You know, And I
yeah,
and I feel like the pandemic was a chance for a load of stuff to get sort of swiped and changed and trashed. But it's not
yeah.
going to happen.
I
But
get the way where I've like kind of like either I kind of I'm gonna admit I went to a special school,
yeah,
and I found special schools, they like focus more on the home skills and whatnot, but they also do stuff that like the mainstream schools tend not to do, like music and
yeah, yeah,
m- more into that. And they're like, oh, sure, you may not be able to get a job like that, but like at a teacher or whatever. Sure, who know, I might be a teacher one day if
yeah.
I
Why?
keep working. Um, but they say that but they look in, like say, music, or you could do music if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing. So I think my having gone round the houses and ranted about stuff. Music is an essential life skill. Parents should be taught to to teach their kids music. Music should be in every household. You know, I, I try my best. The problem for me is that music is all the time, every day. So my kids are a little bit music, you know, it's such a pain. But actually, they don't realize it at the moment, but they're absorbing it. They're around it all the time, and it will pay off for them. You know,
yeah. Now get into the exciting bit. So now, during the online electric umbrella sessions, you came up with a crazy. I think you came up with a crazy idea of writing an album. Am I right there?
yeah. I mean, what this is all. So we made an album throughout lockdown, and it's called Sunflower Avenue, and it's about. And it's basically the story of lockdown told by this community of people with learning disabilities and the wider community. Um, the word "crazy idea" doesn't really sum it up enough, Corey, as to how ridiculous it was as a concept to try and do. But this is the relationship between myself and Mel, my co-founder. She is notorious in my life for suggesting impossible things, and I am notorious for never wanting to say no to an impossible idea. And that combination is what Electric Umbrella is all about. Um, And she said, like, what do you think about like making an album whilst we're locked down like this? I'm like, don't be ridiculous. Like, how am I going to do that? How are we going to, like that's we made an album before. We were in the same room, all these people. We would get ideas, we'd write, we would, then we'd go to a studio, we'd all record, we'd do this, we'd do that, and you know, all none of that is possible, and none of it. And then we got to thinking, and we're like, well, why don't we turn one of our shows, our Friday show, into a songwriting experience? And we'll just do an hour of songwriting and just see what happens. And, 50, 60 people at a time are on Zoom, and I was getting ideas, and you write it down, you get a chord from someone. I know the very first chord of the um, whole album came from a lady called Carolyn, who's in Warrnambool, um,
Wonderful. Yeah.
Warrnambool in Australia. And she had a guitar, and I was like, "Hey, well, give us a chord." And she played an E minor. I was like, "Okay, great, we're off." We had a chord, we had a couple of chords, then we chose a style, then we thought of a, somebody said, "Oh, we're not alone. It's great to be here. Great to know that we've all got each other and we're not alone." And it's like, great, there's our title. Where do we go? And then, and we wrote, 12, 13, 14 songs. Um, and people were sending us ideas, and then I got together with my producer mate, all of it remotely online, and we were saying, right, how are we going to do this? Okay, well, I'll do a demo, and then then we'll send it off to our musician friends. They can add their bits, and then I'll take it off, and I'll record people through Zoom. Now, you were a part of that, and you remember how crazy
Yeah.
how crazy a thing it is. I mean, I would say something to you, you would sing it back to me. I would then chop that bit of audio and put it into the track. I mean, it was painstaking, literally painstaking. And there
One
are,
or 2 o'clock in the morning over here.
it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, and I was recording people directly through Zoom into my computer, and then and sometimes they had a nice microphone like you do, and sometimes they were just on a phone or a laptop or an iPad or a tablet. Sometimes they were in a nice dead bedroom with no echo. Sometimes they were in a kitchen. Sometimes they were down the shops. Someone else was in the car. Another one was walking to walking down the road. Someone was in the toilets. I'm like, well, God's sake, like. So it was a huge technical challenge, and also a challenge when it came to how do I represent these people um, in an honest and genuine way, and how do I tell this story in an honest and genuine way. Um, and it took a lot of time, but it's called Sunflower Avenue, and it's a beautiful thing, and I think everyone should go grab a copy and get behind it.
On that note, where can people get the album?
Well, yeah, you can get it on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon, Deezer, all the platforms. If you would like a CD, you have to come to electricumbrella.co.uk. Um, Obviously, if you are in Australia, we'll have to send it over, but I'm sure we can work that out. But yeah, it's out there, it's available, and yeah, it really is. It's the lockdown according to Electric Umbrella.
And I must say they do post to Australia. I
Okay.
can say that because I did get a try smiling
You got
t-shirt,
your smiling T-shirt. Oh,
and
lovely.
then the try I I had totally forgotten I ordered it, and like I think I ordered it back in like the at the end of June, started July, got it in August.
Well, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
too bad with shipping and whatnot.
yeah,
I
our merchandise actually run by a really beautiful company over in Watford where we live, that employs people with learning disabilities to help, process the orders, pack them up, and all of that. And it's a place called Watford Workshop. It's a really good
yeah.
place.
No, I expected it to be like a while because a postage during the pandemic over
Yeah,
here, and
bit of
still
everything,
it's
wasn't it?
like even before the pandemic, it was the posts were like, oh, I ordered something last month, still haven't gotten it, and then it gets there. But I found it quicker during the pandemic,
Yeah,
to be
yeah, it's
honest with
weird.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all needed a lot of stuff during the pandemic, so the postal service had to kind of get its act together, really.
Yeah, they did. Actually, to, I got this during the pandemic. That microphone during
Oh,
the
nice.
pandemic.
That's a
Ca-
nice one. Yeah.
I believe it came from China.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Didn't get stuck in the Suez Canal then. I know
No.
that would only be coming up this way.
And this one I bought at a shop during the pandemic. I was like, "Yep, let's spend my pandemic money."
Well, you need it. You've done so well and so many brilliant things, and being able to set yourself up like this, you know, it's remarkable, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I must say thank you for joining us today on the did actually the first episode of season 2.
Ah,
So you're our first
it's
guest for
always a good thing, isn't it? Because it means that if you got another season, it means that season one was successful enough. So season two, I'm grateful to be part of season two.
season 2 this year because I took a 6-month break, but I was like, yeah, no, I got to get back into it. And
Yeah, great.
who's better, Tom Billington.
Well, look, it's been a joy to have you involved in the stuff that we do. And it's been a joy to meet so many people from all over the world. If anybody out there is interested in coming on, all you got to do is go to electricumbrella.co.uk, and you can make an account and just join all of our stuff. It does all depend a little bit on where you are in the world and the time of day. The best thing for the Australian the Australian time zones that we do is our breakfast show on a Saturday morning, which is 8 a.m. for us. What is that for you?
That is now 5 p.m. for us.
That's 5 p.m. for you. So that's the best thing. But you have to kind of get over the fact that we're having breakfast whilst you're having dinner.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, it used to be right on my dinner time at 7 p.m.
uh, right. Well, there you
And
go.
then daylight savings happened.
Yeah,
And
I know. It gets a bit weird, doesn't it? But yeah, it's been great. So
and then
thank you.
like for some reason like I feel like working out time. I'm like, hang on a minute, that went back 2 hours instead
Yeah.
of
Well, it's been a globally unifying time, hasn't it?
yet it has. Actually, before I get going, I must ask, have you ever met Kristen O'Connell?
I haven't met Kristen O'Connor. You mean the DJ?
Yeah, the DJ who we kind of stole from you guys.
Yeah, no, I haven't met that fella. Is it? Do you know him?
I have met him once at one of his footy days because
Right.
he decided he likes the AFL, so he had a so he did a grand final, but with grandmas kicking a football through goalposts.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But no, because I'm thinking if Kristen O'Connell ever retires, maybe we could try to sign you on a
No,
deal.
well, who knows? I mean, I've been admiring your work from afar, thinking about how I might do like radio or stuff, because obviously, this period has made me think about like. So I'm a musician. My job is playing in front of people and standing in front of crowds and doing all of that. And for a year, I've not been able to do that. And how am I going to do all these different things? I mean, Electric Umbrella has sort of taken over my whole life, really. Now it used to be a bit of a side project, um, but I kind of I've enjoyed being at home, I suppose, and building I built this studio in my garage.
You used to be
Um,
in your spare
be in a spare
bedroom.
room. Yeah, it's no bigger than that. It's the same size, but I haven't got the kids knocking on the door every 2 minutes. So, you know, and also the neighbours aren't complaining quite so much.
Yeah. I might add, how long did it take to build this studio? Yeah.
Well, I started in October, and because I was working so much, I'd come down, I'd do a bit, and this was literally just a wooden shed, essentially. So I had to build it, a room on the inside and and then I had to treat the walls so it wasn't too echoey and all of that. I mean, you've got loads of lovely curtains up behind you. You understand how that works. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then I started using it at the beginning of January, so it took me a few months.
Awesome. Now, thank you again for joining us. You can find out more about Electric Umbrella at
electricumbrella.co.uk.